2, 3, and we're live! Yay!
Yay!
It's time! Alrighty. Welcome to session 25.
25?
25, yep.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die! Session
Theo's
25 of Severity OG campaign. Our homebrew D&D adventure. We play every second Sunday at 5 p.m. PST right here at twitch.tv/WolfForSeverity. If you're looking to watch or rewatch or catch up on past episodes, subscribers have access to our episodes immediately after they air over on our channel's VODs. For those who aren't subscribers, all episodes uploaded to YouTube 1 week after they initially air. You can find us on YouTube by searching Roll for Severity or simply click the link that's somewhere down below the stream. I'm Amanda Siegel, the DM for this campaign, and I'm joined by three of my fantastic players. Not Nathan, Mel, and Jamie. Unfortunately, Jeanette is unable to join us again this evening. Before we get underway, there's a few quick things to go over. One, each month we donate a portion of all income generated by Roll for Severity to charity. This includes that from direct donations, bits, subscriptions, and sales from the store. This month's charity is the JED Foundation, a nonprofit group that exists to support mental health and suicide prevention of teens and young adults. For more information on the JED Foundation, you can check out their website at jedfoundation.org or on Twitter at jedfoundation. Or, once again, links down below the stream. Speaking of the store is up on tpublic.com/user/rollforseverity, or you can click the link down below the stream. There's various things in there right now, and we'll be continuing to add more to it as the campaigns progress. Number 3, I do want to announce the funders that we have coming up for October. As October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Mel and I discussed a year ago about a desire to try and put a bit bigger focus on it this year and do a bit of a bigger fundraiser for it. So during October, I'll also be streaming a fair bit more, probably 3, maybe 4 times a week, trying to just have more visibility for it. Some of it will be games, some will be art. Mel is going to be coming over, going to carve pumpkins, do some chatting, as well as our usual D&D streams. Our end goal is to raise over $1,000 over the course of October for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. When we hit the $800 mark, both Mel and I will be shaving our heads bald at the end of the month. If we can hit the $1,000 goal, we'll also be shaving off my beard. Other incentives exist, and as well as different milestones and all that kind of stuff. Those will become visible once October Rich rolls around, as well as the link which will be posted on the channel here, as well as we'll be throwing stuff up on Twitter and Discord and all that jazz. So without further ado,
if we hit 2,000, can we style your beard? Like put little.
Well, no, it'll be gone.
No,
it'll be gone.
But if we go to 2,000, and if it's like it stays at 1,000, it goes to 1,200, and it's like, wait a minute, we can put pretty bows and stuff in it.
Okay, you know what? the beard still. If we hit the $1,000, the beard is being shaved at the end of the month. So if we can hit it before then, we can think about
can we decorate
tossing
the beard before you shave it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. Like, if we hit the $1,000 mark, the beard's coming off at the end of the month. But I'm all for throwing stuff in there and styling it up and doing goofy stuff with it leading up to that point. Like, that I am all for.
Oh boy, guess who's gonna look up beard braiding on Pinterest this evening?
You say that as if I had... Do you not remember when I'd sit in the office and just sit there waiting for my builds to build and just braid my fucking beard?
Yeah, but I'm gonna do it with glitter and rainbows.
Alrighty. Without further ado, the fuck happened last time?
Theo's really tired.
I'm up in a tree. I found Godric. We chatted.
Yep,
I said I need to get my friends. He went go that way, and then I nearly killed myself getting to you guys. So I'm up in a tree, sleeping, hoping owls don't come get me.
The rest of us, I believe, we ended the session with us jumping off the roof.
Yep.
But before that,
or at least, but before that, we damaged the magical spell thingy that fucked up shit. So the shadow creatures are coming to fuck up the people of the sun. I don't really. I have my bag of stuff. That's really all I care about. I brought my bag from my room, and
Oh shit! Did you grab my stuff?
You took your stuff with you.
Okay, good.
priorities. Yeah. So, yeah. So Cran is on our side, mortally wounded, sort of.
Shut up,
She
Kate.
got hit. She got hit something strong and needs some like slug directly to every part of her body.
In fact, I've written "shut up, Kay" multiple times because you kept making comments about Cran dying. So definitely, shut up. She's not mortally wounded.
Shut up! She's not mortally wounded.
We will not let her die.
Shut up, Kay.
But the
Well,
four of us
from
managed
Kay's
to escape.
perspective, Cran's been hurt real bad. I don't know how bad, but all I know is from Kay's perspective, it's bad. Yeah. Anna did some really awesome shit with bugs. I entrapped Merrick on a staircase.
Oh yeah, I was still here for that.
Almost the entire combat. So I didn't actually have to fight anything, which was great, and I appreciate it. Because their ranged guy and me were not in the same combat space. Hey!
Yeah, Merrick was not having a good time.
Just centipedes.
I was gonna say, yeah, he probably has a bug phobia now.
He didn't before.
Before he sure does now.
Something characters that we may see in the future if they don't die in the current scenario. We're just gonna find him like back in Aminodel, like in a bar, drunk, just shaking, screaming about the bugs.
Merrick is the final boss.
That or he joins Kevin.
No, Kevin's the final boss. Damn it, Kevin's gonna be Kobold Overlord.
Oh,
by the time we encounter the Kobold Horde again, okay? I just need this to be true. Like, it's important to me.
Alrighty. So, Theo, you're currently sitting in a tree. You can see the temple, though exhaustion has heavily set in, and all you can kind of do is watch, and you can see the this horde and army of beasts descending upon the temple. You did manage to notice the faint glow emanating from the temple. You see as it like flickers and like pulsates a little bit before kind of rising back up. A couple minutes after this occurs, you see all these creatures of the Shadowlands that are kind of moving around essentially start beelining it towards the temple. You're watching, but as exhaustion is racking your brain, a chill kind of sweeps over you as you have to close your eyes and kind of drift off into your meditative trance.
So what I'm sleeping while the stampede in the Lion King is happening, right?
You're on the tree.
I'm Simba on the tree. No Mufasa's coming for me, but I'm asleep. Damn it.
You're on the tree, though, and you're staying on the tree, which is important. Unlike Simba, you're not going to fall into the stampede.
I sure hope a wildebeest doesn't knock off my tree.
Bump into the tree, knock you out. Kay,
last thing I need.
It's all good. Kay, Sylvania, Annah, Dog, and Cran, having managed to break 2 of the chains holding the orb while being attacked by Orbiter, Thimold, and I'd say Merrick, but he spent 90% of that fight face down in millipedes. You managed to break the chains and then beeline it for the doors in the corners of the round room. But you reaching the edge of the roof, Orbiter, Thimold, and Merrick finally getting out of the bugs and chasing up and chasing after you as well. You look down at the swarm of beasts that are just like swarming up towards the temple. Flashbacks to the Kruthiks on Stoneforge's bridge kind of flash through the minds of Kay and Annah. Sylvania slaps small wire tethers in each of you, the others embedded into the stone, and you all leapt from the edge of the building. You all feel the abrupt jerk as the tether as it reaches the end, but you're stopped a couple feet from the ground. Well, except for Cran, whose tether just snaps and she just, like, feet first, just slams onto the ground. Sylvania makes note that to make stronger tethers in the future. But as you all hit the ground, several nearby creatures turn to face you, teeth bared as they start kind of moving in towards you. A swirl of smoke and shadows kind of swirls up from the ground at your feet as you see Shell take form. The creatures stop momentarily, growling as if interrupted from a fresh meal by a large predator, then turn and start moving away. You can hear shouting coming from above as Orbiter, Thimold, and Merrick are stepping out onto that ledge that you just jumped from. K does a 11 does not hit you.
No, it does not.
No, it does not. It's like, does this hit? No, it doesn't. So an arrow comes whizzing by and just embeds into the ground near your feet. And looking up, you can see as Merrick is notching another arrow into his bow, kind of drawing it back and aiming down towards you guys.
Can Kay turn upwards and scream at Merrick? Merrick, there's still millipedes in your hair.
Roll me an intimidation.
He beats us.
You know what? I approve. Not even just them. I approve.
I mean, that's a 10. I'm okay with this. Like,
he turns his shot down, like specifically aiming at you again as you're yelling up about millipedes. Though you do watch him kind of just shake a little bit at the thought.
Well, I'll try it. And I look at Shell and go, "We need to leave."
As Shell turned, like, a second arrow kind of comes whizzing down, barely missing Kay, but it pierces through the body of where Shell is. And you watch as, like, there's this, like, hole punctured in the smoke as it just kind of reforms itself, and Shell just turns and starts drifting away. And as Shell is drifting towards the creature, you just see them kind of parting path around him.
Kay is gonna be, I'm with that guy, and Kay is going to be, like, right up front, like, as close to Shell as he can with the energy he currently has.
Okay.
He's like, I'm perfectly fine. If the monsters want to part away from this guy, I want to be with this guy immediately.
Sylvania and Annah, what is going on?
Anna's gonna just try and, like, book up in front of Shell, and she's gonna go, "We need to find Theo first." Like, hands out, hoping to stop the smoke ban.
You feel chilled as Shell doesn't stop and just passes directly through you.
Oh, that's
And
unpleasant.
you get, and you feel that, like, kind of like wet shiver. Like, ugh.
Syl is, I'd expect Syl to mount Dog and be like, anywhere's better than here, and follow along. Like, behind us, but still mounted with her pole arm.
Lance? Yeah.
Yes, that.
Yeah, and
ready just in case.
Yeah, and Cran is also following along, keeping pace with you guys, although you note that Cran is kind of, like, leery of this shadowy creature you've all suddenly decided to follow, because she doesn't know what's going on, but
anywhere's better than here.
Anywhere's better than here. Kay, does the 13 hit you?
No.
So as you're hustling away, you can hear a solid thunk. In case you feel something hit your back, though you don't feel any pain. A quick glance over your guys' shoulder, you can see Orbiter and Thimold pulling Merrick back inside the temple. Shell begins accelerating their pace. The wispy form of their face kind of looking back, and as you're looking at the temple, you can see a narrow stream of light pierce up into the sky from the temple, and then a radiant pulse coming crashing back down.
Uh-oh.
As it hits the ground, it sends out a wave of heat, and I'd like everyone to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Definitely only disabled one of those things. 19 for Anna.
13 for K.
Okay.
Oh, there.
So when you'd first approached the temple, like you'd seen the pillar of light put to use, but this time there's something different about it, something odd. Well, when you first encountered it, there was some warmth to it. This time there's legitimate heat. If you roll 13 or lower, you take 6 points of fire damage. 14 or higher, you take 3.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
And did you roll for Sylvania as well?
I did roll for Ursel.
Okay.
I can't give her damage, though.
Okay, I will apply damage to Sylvania. Sylvania.
As we are hustling away from the temple, could I do a perception check to try and see if Theo is around?
Sure, roll me a perception check.
Hooray. 24.
And Sylvania's...
Well,
Roll the
if Anna can't see the shape of Theo somewhere in this chaos with the 24, I doubt the rest of the party is going to do much better.
As you're running away from the temple and looking around, you do not see Theo amidst the hordes of creatures that are rushing the temple.
It's either good or bad.
I'm dead.
Oh well, as long as you're dead, as long as you know.
As this cascade of radiant heat like just collides with you, and some of you managing to take a little bit of cover, and like as it's cascading towards you, you even see Shell just kind of like turn and look, and then you just watch their figure just and just like sink into the ground.
It's a guide.
But it hits, and then once it's passed, you see Shell kind of reforming and then turning and just continuing on as if nothing had happened. We can hear the wailing of the Shadowlands creatures, the wave had hit them. One final glance back at the temple, and the faint glow has now gone dull.
So it was kind of like a last use energy burst kind of explosion to be like, let's push them back, and now it's no longer shiny, and now they're gonna get fucked. That's Kay's prediction, with Kay being like, it's not glowing anymore. Success.
And more beasts are clamoring past, just like shambling over the corpse of those that were in the blast radius that didn't survive it, and continuing to rush the temple. The group of you is walking for about an hour or so, and as you're going along, Shell stops at the base of a tree. And can I get you guys to roll my perception checks?
Yes, gladly. Dirty 20.
So,
Well, Kay rolled 23, so if between the two of us we don't see something in this tree...
you very easily notice a hunched over humanoid figure sitting on one of the branches, propped up against the trunk.
Oh, yes.
And it takes you no time to recognize the body of Theo.
Kay is absolutely going to start kicking the tree, going, Theo, 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 between every word of the phrase Theo that he is not screaming, but like the normal K.
Then I'm Theo, trying to wake you up.
Theo.
There's no response.
Anna's gonna shift into Anna 7 and start climbing the tree to try and get.
Okay.
the,
Roll me an acrobatics check
oh
as
boy,
Anna 7.
As Anna 7. Acrobatics is Dex, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just let's roll a d20 and then add the hand. Oh no, it's only a 13 to climb that damn tree.
That's fine.
All right.
It takes you a couple. Like you try and jump up initially, you can't quite get to the branch, so you move back a little bit, run forward, jump, kind of getting that little extra momentum as you get claw your way up the tree and perch yourself on the branch. And Theo's body is there, cold at the touch and unmoving.
Can I see Theo breathing?
You currently do not.
I don't see. Oh, I picked the wrong form to do CPR. Oh God.
Theo.
Kay's gonna be like, just push Theo out of the tree, I'll catch him and we'll figure it out from here.
Are you
Kay's dead serious when he says this and like fully prepares to catch Theo falling out of a tree.
Are you pushing Theo out of the tree?
I'm gonna telepathically, that came out weird, ask Cran if she can catch Theo.
Cran will also move to stand underneath, so you've got both Cran and Kay ready to try and catch Theo.
Just to increase those odds.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So Kay...
Showing that K asshole, he's gonna drop him.
So what is this, a trust exercise?
Roll me an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice.
Me? Oh, no.
No, me.
Me?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's a good thing you asked Cran to get in there now. As Kay
Theo
rolls
would have
in
hit
that
the floor
one.
so hard.
As
Kay got immediately distracted the moment you pushed Theo out of a tree and stopped paying attention to try and catch anything whatsoever.
Cran, however, does manage to catch Theo's body.
I lived, bitch.
Theo, as you drifted off into your trance, normally you're still somewhat cognizant of the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
Not usually to the extent of being able to hear specifics of conversations, but you usually at least know where you are, but this time it's different.
Oh boy.
As your eyes close, your limbs grow heavy. You find yourself in a dark void. There's very faint light, and there's beneath you. It's solid. It feels almost like stone. And then something damp touches your fingers, slowly trickling past.
Oh, I don't like that.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna try pulling my arm away from the dampness.
You pull your hand away. It's not being restrained by anything.
Okay.
But your hand now feels wet.
My hand feels wet?
Yes.
Okay, so dark void, something's trickling by. Can I try and stand up?
Yep.
Am I still laying? Yeah.
You stay like you're sitting down. Like you stagger a little bit as you're as you get up. Just your legs feel a little bit like jelly, but you're able to get to your feet.
Okay. What is on my hand? Is it?
You roll me a perception check. Like right now, like it is very dim light.
5 seconds here. Sorry. There we go.
Yeah, no
Perception. Perception. 21.
21. So like you're not quite able to see what's on your hand, but you definitely feel the wetness. You smell it, and there's a faint smell of rust.
Oh. Is it blood?
You take your hand, you touch your tongue to it just briefly, and you are met with the bitter, rusty taste of blood.
Yeah, that's... Oh, boy. Okay, I quickly wipe it on, like I shake my hand out, and I'm going to, I guess, look at the direction of where the blood is.
You're currently standing on somewhat slanted stone, possibly a rocky hill or shallow mountain ridge, but you figure from where you can see, it's like it shouldn't be terribly difficult to climb or go up or down. But as you're looking around and following where the blood trickling down,
yeah,
you can see a very faint light up past a ridge.
I'm gonna climb up to that ridge. I'm gonna cast a quick light spell, and can I cast a light spell? And then I'm gonna climb up to that ridge.
You go to cast light, and you can feel the magic kind of flowing to your fingertips, and then just fades.
Oh shit. Okay.
As you start, you kind of shake your head, kind of confused why magic isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start climbing towards the light, you feel something grasp around your leg, tripping you to the ground. And as your body hits the ground, you can feel as numerous things are grasping onto your body, like hands. And you can feel yourself being dragged into the surface of the rock. The very faint light in the area around you darkening. And looking up towards that source of light, you can see it wavering slightly as rocks pile in around you and you're pulled beneath the earth.
Oh.
Weight bears down on your chest, heavy and solid. And then again. And then again. And then you gasp, eyes bursting open as you stare into the face of a large orc woman kneeling over you. Quickly glancing around to get your bearings, you find you're once more in the Shadowlands. The group standing nearby as Cran begins to stand up.
Hello!
He's alive. Though, barely. And Cran reaches down and grabs you and pulls you to your feet.
Oh! That's sudden. That's sudden. Ran a very long way. Can't kind of have a stitch in my side still. Oh, God. Well, you all look well. Were we able to accomplish what we needed to accomplish?
Here's hoping, because there's no going back.
I'm guessing they know? Well, I suppose.
Okay, they know. Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the people I was with know too, although I'm fairly confident that they are no longer alive. So, as unfortunate as that is.
How does Cran react to that?
You see kind of a moment of kind of like that acknowledgement of I'm a part of that.
There's that moment of mourning, sort of.
Yeah, it's not like she's heartbroken over it, but at the same time, it's all she's known for quite a while. So there's still that innate grief that kind of came along with it.
And Kay is a little heartbroken because his first crush may or may not be gone. And he has to come to terms with that because I don't think he's really actually over that emotional heartbreak. It's unfortunate, but...
Well, were you able to discover anything else while I was away?
Can we actually just keep going?
Yeah,
for right now.
There's while you're talking.
Scary... Okay, so as long as we're following Shell away...
Once Thea was back up, Shell would have started just drifting along in the direction.
Okay,
you
cool.
see you guys be walking and talking during this.
I have a question. I had 4 points of exhaustion.
Uh-huh.
Am I still able to walk?
Yes.
Kay is most definitely helping you walk.
Yeah.
Right
Okay,
now.
yeah. Because I take a step and then I go, Oh.
Yeah, no, we're doing the whole. Your arm is slung around my shoulder, and I'm here just helping you move. Because one, I'm the perfect height for you to throw your arm around a shoulder now, and use as the perfect armrest. So,
When did Cran join our group?
have you been drunk? Just don't worry. It's been a while now, hasn't it?
You also
Paul?
know this.
Yeah, but like I didn't know. I don't think I knew the extent of how
Yeah.
much Cran.
That's fair. This is. It's fine. She's with us now. Like it's cool.
After about half an hour, like the with especially with Theo being in the exhausted state and slowing down a bit, and Cade hobbling along beside Theo, Cran just gets to the point, just like walks over to Theo, kind of grabs you and just kind of like plunks you up onto her back.
No,
Up onto her back, and just
okay.
like, and then just starts like continuing on, just hauling you along.
Is this like piggyback ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I need
she
to be clear if this
didn't
was
flop you
fireman.
over her shoulder and then start walking. No.
I mean, it could have been fireman carry. It could have been bridal carry. Needed to know because personally, I needed to know if I was going to be making fun of Theo for this in the future.
I thought she sat me on her shoulder for a moment and I was holding on to her head.
No, you're piggybacking on Cran.
I think the only person that could do like the proper little kid on parent shoulder ride is probably Annah.
Or Sylvania. Sylvania's small enough to sit on Cran.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
because Sylvania's smaller than Annah is.
Yeah, still smaller than
Yeah,
Annah.
I just forget that because Syl is always on top of Dog. Always. So like the height differential for Syl is pretty much just like, it feels like Syl's just a little shorter than I am, not like drastically shorter, because she's always either lying on the ground repairing Dog, which everyone's small when they're lying on the ground, or she's mounted on the thing, and in which case she's almost normal height. Rip old height.
Yep. Poor Kay getting shorter.
Cran, did you make bread this morning? Because I can smell it. It smells very good.
Is it burnt? I think you may be
No.
having heart attack.
No, it's not burnt. It's that, or it's the distinct smell of it. It's a yeasty smell. So it could also be beer.
Kay is gonna make the announcement. Oh no! Theo's in dumb Theo state. He's gonna look at Cran. This has only happened once before. He doesn't do well with forcefully doing anything outside of his wheelhouse. Especially when it's physically demanding.
So far.
Like he'll try, but like
I ran all night and day. I nearly killed myself.
And just ignore Theo for like probably the next day or two, and by that I mean like 24-ish hours, 24 or 48 hours, something like that. And then he should be back to normal. But until then, he's probably gonna just be muttering nonsense in his I don't know what the word is for it. It's when your body just gives up on you.
Good job, kids.
Lethargy?
I think. Unless we're being chased by a giant army, then not good job.
Cran just kind of chuckles and keeps carrying along. And it takes quite a while, but you do eventually crest that ridge near Ithariel's keep. And as you head down and up to the door, you watch a shell just kind of phases through the door, carrying straight in. And you can see a look of concern on Cran's face.
Panther. So I'm just gonna kind of reach up to Cran's hand and say, like, Cran, what are you thinking right now? It's okay.
I have been here before.
When was that?
Hmm, 2 years ago.
Are you on an
And-
assignment for the
And
temple?
she's like, is this where they are? Your person who's helping.
Yes, this is where she
Yeah.
is.
And you see Cran kind of just like she puts Theo down and just kind of just rests her hand on her weapon, just like that, like I'm like very much like not trusting what's going on at the moment. And just like very unsure of what's going on.
Oh. Cran, I understand you're new to the group, but you're gonna have to tell us what your reservations are before we go any more forward. Words.
We came here and had to kill the inhabitants.
Ah, one of those. Well,
So
were you following orders, or were you not following orders?
It was under direct order.
Direct order.
Well, we can work with that.
That's not the worst thing.
Probably.
What is the group doing?
I mean, Kay is perfectly fine walking inside.
So Kay's just walking in.
Oh, Kay has absolutely no problem announcing his presence to the crazy bitch. Pretty sure he only knows this woman is crazy bitch, because that's the first version of introduction given.
Yeah, you've gotten her name before, but whether or not Kay remembers that.
Yes.
Although last
let's
time
be clear.
Kay was very careful about not calling her the crazy bitch.
Right, because she threatened me. Hey, lady, we're back! Kay will refrain because his friends are kind of maybe a little tiny bit hurt right now. I'm pretty sure some of them are real badly hurt, or at least one of them is. Because one of them got hurt real bad.
Crazy question, but when you were escaping the temple, was there a battle of some sort?
Oh yeah,
I
all the
imagine
shadow.
since people are hurt.
All the shadow creatures kind of were swarming it. We broke some of the chains, and all of the heavily armored people came and tried to beat the crap out of us. We held them off, broke the chains, and got the fuck out of there.
I forget. Theo, had you actually gone into the upper room of the temple or no?
I don't think Theo did, because we all got the password after.
Oh, you got the password after Theo left. That's right.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we broke the chains, and the big order's like, what?
We found the entrance to the shield mechanism, which was one of the things, as you know, we needed to find. And Cran here helped keep us alive, stave off the attack, and also damage the pillars enough to have us escape.
So you directly helped us, Cran.
Yes.
Cran was MVP.
Yeah, so
Cran
that
was definitely MVP.
Yes.
Let's play off that then.
Absolutely.
And let's go inside.
I'd reach up and say, Cran is part of this group,
Yes.
and she comes with us.
We'd be dead if it were not for Cran. And let's be honest, you carried me. Because there was no way that guy up there was going to carry me.
Excuse you.
He tried.
I made an effort. Thank you very much. Kay is now like Kay, who already had burst in screaming lady and then was walking backwards, talking at people as he was continually walking towards what I assume was the parlor, the room they met her last time.
Yeah.
Kay is absolutely walking there. And now he's just in a like angry child's mood where he's like,
So as you kind of get closer to where that fireplace was, you turn and you see Thariel sitting there in her wheelchair, and she's like, "Oh, welcome back. We're the only one to survive." And she's
no. Kay's gonna be like, no, they're just slow.
I guess the rest of us come in after Kay.
Yeah, the rest of you are kind of following along, and as you round the corner, and as Cran rounds the corner, you watch as Cran's face kind of goes a little bit pale, and her grip kind of loosens on her weapon as she takes a couple steps back. She's like, "You, how were you alive?" And Athario kind of chuckles. It's like, when you said you had a friend, I wasn't expecting you to be the last one who killed me.
Oh.
To answer
Well.
your question,
That was unexpected.
To answer your question, Orc, it's not so simple to truly kill one such as myself. But no matter. And she kind of turns to the rest of the group. It's like, I've been informed that you have dealt with the temple.
We did the thing that you asked us to do. We broke the chain so the weird, dangerous light thingy was no longer a thing.
The weapon still seemed slightly operational as we were leaving, but then kind of dimmed. But the shield we definitely took care of.
Marvelous. I'll have to watch that later. As for my side, I have arranged passage for the lot of you to return to the material plane, and kind of looks to Cran. It's like, I assume she is going as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she is.
Fine. Immediately prior to leaving, I will remove Avascalis, as you desired, but it will still be a couple of days before I can return you to the material plane. In the interim, we have some information to exchange. First, I would like to know how the shield and barrier function, and how to disable them.
And Kay is going to, in his very excruciatingly limited knowledge of understanding, is going to ask for pen and paper.
Oh no!
She grabs some paper and quilm ink and holds it out for you.
And Kay is going to draw a very crude, rudimentary diagram of the building.
Roll me performance check.
Okay.
Let's see how.
Hold on, I'm excited for this.
Let's see how good or bad this drawing is.
Oh, modified 20.
So not quite as good as what was it? Theo's photorealistic face of Brevik.
I have a pretty good picture.
But you do like. So are you drawing like the whole temple, just the room? Like what are you drawing?
My goal is to draw the temple with the point of being like, these are the things you probably don't care about. Here's the like contraption, and like Kay just kind of laid out the room, being like, there were some chains here, 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 and here. There was an orb thingy. I have no idea what it does. We couldn't really hurt it, so the chains were kind of magic-y, and so we need to hit them with magic-y things. And with Cran's help, because she's actually strong, as in comparison to the rest of us who are kind of weak, apparently. Who knew? And so like it was super awesome and cool. And then they broke the chains, and then when 2 of the chains were broken, then it was like, and then things just got really dim and dark. And yeah.
I'm gonna ask.
That was Kay's clip. That was Kay's Cliff Note version of what the fuck happened.
Theo's gonna ask Sylvania to fill in the blanks. since she's got.
Sylvania is gonna go like and get super excited and super knowledgeable because it's the magic contraption that she was really excited about and really going all aboard about. So then she's gonna go and be like, okay. So and then she's going to do I have to draw?
I realized my mistake.
Do I have to roll a performance check for Syl to explain the contraption?
Yeah, let's roll a performance check for Syl with advantage because she already has the drawing from you and your explanation. She's just trying to fill in pieces. Natural 20!
Holy shit!
And so Syl is going to go into a very long, very excitedly, very heavily detailed explanation of like the platform, how it was laid out, and how the very specific dimensions of the room were very important to this contraption. How there were 4 chains connecting to a thing. There were some pillars, and there was an orb that was very magical and very like super like really interesting, really hard to hit, and very hard to lift. It was very intriguing. I wish I had more time to study it, but I really didn't know. So I was but we worked really hard to pinpoint the breakage of the chains. Insert rest of rambling in Syl's very, very heavily detailed description as she continues to like add details and information to my map of specific drawings in very intricate nature in the fast-paced, high-energy, super really interesting and super excited version that Syl does, because she's always super excited and amazing about super interesting and intricate magical details, which is fascinating and very important to know.
Theo gains another point of exhaustion.
Theo can no longer move. Theo is just a puddled mess on the floor.
Yeah, it just...
Would Anna also be able to try and describe or recreate some of the runes and explain how they were like a silver sort of ornate runes on the shield contraption?
Yeah, give me a perception, or give me a performance check.
I'd rather do perception if I'm being honest, but
right. Unfortunately you can't look and see 14.
No,
okay.
it's a 14 to try and describe or draw.
Yeah, you sketch in what you can remember. It got to be a bit of a panicked moment, so you're not entirely certain of all of them, but you trace in what you remember, and like by the time the 3 of you are done, like Athargo's got this little like stack of papers. You just get like drawing on and like adding more to and writing on.
I mean, at this point, there should only be like 10 papers, like 1 for each like detailed map of the floors, and then like probably 3 for at least the intricate drawings of the mechanisms from Syl.
Would you like their patrol schedules and a list of names as well? We have those too.
Their names aren't important.
Excellent. All you really need to know is Merrick is a bastard.
I have no idea who that is.
That's fine. That'll probably
Kane's
piss him
actually
off.
like, he's not really that bad. He was just lied to. You're just kind of a dick to him, so we probably couldn't convince him to help us because you were really mean.
He was a dick to me first.
I'll also mention that she needs 3 pillars to maintain the stability.
It's 3 chains, isn't it?
Well, each chain was attached to 1 pillar, so. And so as you've, like, you spend some time kind of explaining to Ithara, like, these are all the things that we found, this is everything that we learned, and going over it, and then she's like, wonderful, and I had some information for you. Who would like some first?
Syl's gonna be like, Syl is like too high energy right now. She's like, oh my goodness, you said you could help with my blueprint.
And
because I believe that was definitely something that was said.
Sylvania had shown Ithariel the blueprint the first time they were there and learned of the 3 different ingredients that the sheet that she has mentioned, which was the Damskull crystals, the Elder Spire spines, and the Vacadrus bone powder. But when it came to information that, like additional information, Sylvania had not asked for anything extra.
Perfect. Well, I mean, I can move on from that. I just wanted to make sure Syl had her 2 cents. Cause,
oh, for sure.
Just, yes. In that case, I'm out. I'm going to let other people talk for a bit.
He's happy to discuss the information that Anna was hoping to get.
Yes. You were looking for information on the Scorched Hammer clan, was it?
Yes, that's correct.
Unfortunately, the dwarves keep much of their knowledge safeguarded, so large amounts of information is hard to come by, but I can share what I know. The Scorched Hammer clan was a noble warrior house that was one of the dominant forces during the Nellic Wars, some 750-ish years ago. Battalions of the troops often stormed the front lines with terrifying brutality. They were one of the key reasons why the dwarves staved off the elven assault for as long as they did. After their assassination of Kiritol and their failed coup, the majority of the clan was wiped out. Those who survived were captured and branded with the Arak Shai, and banished from dwarven lands. But a clan so steeped in pride is not one so easily expunged. Their leader, Keedrel Scorchhammer, barely escaped with his life. He knew that in his state, and with so much of his clan lost, he was in no position to make another assault at that time. But he is a stubborn man who would go to any length to achieve his goals, including embracing lichdom. As far as I'm aware, he's still alive. Well, as alive as one would be.
I'm sorry. Hold the fucking phone.
He's a lich!
Lich him?
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's definitely a life decision. Sorry, that's a death decision.
Excuse me while Jamie writes fuck in her notes.
We don't have to
And
deal with a
underline
lich
it 3
currently.
times.
You said witch, right? With a
So
double-
Anna's
Yeah, you said witch, right?
Nope.
Anna's life plans have been put on hold until the party is like actually levels up. So
Oh,
like
shit.
multiple times. So like maybe when we're level like 14, we can come back around to this.
And his name was Keedrel Scorchhammer.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As far as I'm aware, he's still alive. Oh, well, as alive as a lich is. Phylactery intact, though where he is, I'm not quite sure. What his plans are, I also don't know, but he's stubborn and his grudges are not easily put aside.
And he hates elves.
Theo.
Theo's just gonna do a little, oh yeah. Oh, this is just perfect.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. Yeah,
If I
well,
had to make a guess, he either wishes to bring ruin to Dagnir as revenge for the destruction of his clan, or he wishes to destroy Amanodel, the very seat of power of those his clan fought directly against. Could be both.
well,
No.
shit.
Well, he's been working on this plan for like probably 750 years. That's what you said, right? Like he's probably gonna take like he's probably in no hurry,
Okay.
right? Like
Okay.
this is K being like the eternal optimist that he is. It's like we don't need to hurry to find this lich arriving like army of the undead trying to take on 2 gigantic forces, right? Or maybe he was the one that riled up all of the Kruthiks and that caused the really massive attack as
Yes,
a
Bravik,
preemptive attack.
We did that. We confirmed that Bravik was working with the Scorched Hammer.
I mean, there just clearly just wasn't. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.
Yep.
It's clearly fine.
Oh boy. Okay.
It's fine.
Well.
I don't want to fight a lich. Guys.
Well, we might have to.
Well,
That's a life decision.
We-
He made death decisions. Can we not?
Anyway,
Can we talk about this later?
we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later.
We're in another
We'll have-
dimension right now. We could
we'll
stay
have
in
a-
this one. We never
we-
have to go back and deal with those problems.
no.
We will talk about We will talk about this
Have a seat.
later. Yeah, sit down. I'm tired looking at you.
Kay is gonna start fidgeting with his arm. Like he's just gonna just twist fingers and just see what weird shit can happen with his metal arm.
Okay.
Because he hasn't really been this bored, and he's just gonna do it intentionally to drive Syl insane. Because Syl's gonna be like, "No, what are you do? Don't touch that! But you're not supposed to do that."
Except
to
Syl was wanting you to try out the arm and test it and make sure it does
Oh,
its things.
yes, absolutely. But I'm specifically going to try and bend my fingers intentionally too far back. I'm gonna start to fuck around with my robot hand to see what things it shouldn't do, because I don't actually know. It's not see what it can do. It's bend my finger and just keep going to see if it can go all the way back here, double jointed shenanigans, and
Okay.
see what happens. Because Kay is now officially bored of this conversation.
I
Um,
had information. that I asked
Anna
about.
still had a little bit more as well.
Oh, never mind.
You had also asked about the Yuan Ti.
Yeah.
They're a secretive race, primarily appearing as mix of varying degrees between humanoid and serpentine. They wield magic of sorts, though it's psionic in nature, similar to the Illithids and some other Underdark races. They're tribal by nature and hold the worship of their gods and deities in the highest regard. However, they also keep the locations of their temples as well-guarded secrets from outsiders. The largest settlements that I am aware of lay near the Blackwood Marsh, though I have no doubt they have many others scattered across the material plane, hidden away from prying eyes. As for the relation to Idrisil, that was more difficult, as I was originally looking for a who, but later stumbled upon that it was a what. Idrisilagos is a type of serpentine spirit, which is mainly found gliding through heavily magic-infused forests. These creatures were held in high regard by the Yuan-Ti and viewed as protectors, due to the pacifying effect they would have on nearby wildlife. These spirits also harbor a venom that drives animals into a feral rage. When several of these spirits gather together, their essence often mixes and fuses together, creating a gem-like stone known as the Eye of Idrisil. These stones have both the protective properties, continuing to exude the same pacifying aura as Idrisilagos did, as well as the ability to inflict their venom-like effect onto beasts within that same radial aura.
That explains a lot about animals and things. What does this venom look like? Do you know the effects?
I have not seen it myself, though the books that I had, the passage I was able to find regarding it mentioned that even trained animals become feral, turning on anything and anyone near them. But no physical description of what occurs.
Oh. So, not gonna show you this. Barbs.
Well, she already saw the barbs because Kay
right.
handed her like a pile of barbs from his backpack.
Oh, that's true.
Anna,
But that
the
would-
eye.
Go ahead.
Anna, the Eye of Yggdrasil was in your village,
That's right. That's what was missing at the shrine.
and in Idrisilagos, Idrisilagos is a creature.
Sure, a serpentine.
Yeah, serpentine
So-
spirit.
So it's not common, but something we could find potentially in the Black Marsh.
The Black Marsh was the crazy,
If
creepy
not-
place that led to the Underdark, right?
That was one of
Yeah.
the known entrances to the Underdark. Yes.
Cool.
It might
Well-
be worth going there.
Certainly a lead.
It is a
considering
lead.
No one knows where this key draw Scorchhammer is.
No, we'll talk about it later,
Mhm.
but that's very good information to have.
Yes. Thank you.
Out
Thank you.
Out of curiosity, why these two things?
It might
One,
be
Because you never
good.
disclosed to Ithariel why you wanted the information on either of these two things, just that you wanted information on these two things.
Okay, fair enough.
So she's
I'll
asking.
say, if you were to try and go about bringing down a hundreds-year-old noble warrior dwarven house and bring them to
Racist.
ruin, yes, racist warrior house, how would you go about doing it? Because that's kind of my intent.
additionally, the Eye of Yggdrasil
Yggdrasil.
was in her village,
It kind of
And what
leads up
happened
my
to it?
revenge fever dream.
and we have seen a lot of beasts that have been crazy, covered in spines, cursed,
Feral, as it were.
feral.
If you were intending on taking out the Scorched Hammer clan, Well, first, of course, you would have to deal with Keydraw Scorchhammer. That would be if you could decimate the clan, but if he's left alive,
They can just come back.
he will undoubtedly just continue to rebuild and come back. That being said, with him being a warrior clan, especially one of quite well rapport, it would take an army.
Yeah, it would. Kind of look wistfully at Cran and then shake my head and go back to my notes.
Cran is not an army.
Sure. All right.
Phil,
Does that answer your question about, well,
she basically asked like why you're looking for this information, and like why these two specific pieces of information.
you're woven, I think.
We were investigating them before we landed here. So you've helped us very much in that regard. Thank you very much.
I'm glad.
I had
If
a question.
Go ahead.
Well, I asked it before. I asked you to look into something specific for me.
Yes, you did. You asked me about Amos and Riem,
I did.
as well as the Orb of Katsura.
Yes.
And she pulls out a book that has a bookmark in it, opening the passage to you, and holds the book out to you. And
I take it.
I just need to go over here and this one. And
Ooh,
you should now see.
I sure do.
Well, that's a nifty little trick.
Jeez.
Oh boy, do I have some reading to do.
Well, Theo has homework.
I
Because
sure
Kay, because Kay, let's be honest, doesn't read. He can read. He doesn't. It's different.
Do you want to read it to yourselves? Do you want to read it out?
I'm gonna read this to myself for now.
Because it's
It's a doozy.
Yeah, it's a
2,
doozy.
4, 6, 8, 10, 11-ish paragraphs of varying length.
Yep. To summarize what it is, essentially it is the background and origin of two specific people. Ratalis Silem, who was a elf, or a high elf, as well as Lord Amasandros Darau, who was a noble high elf as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it deals a little bit of the conflict between the two of them. One of them rising to power, and then basically the events leading up to the deaths of both individuals. This will also be available on the World Anvil page as well.
Yay!
So you're able to see this outside of just this.
Yeah. I will be reading this.
Yep.
I ask if I could take a copy of this.
She says yes.
Okay. I will.
I do have a synopsis of here. So Amasandros Darau and Ratalis Silem, once mortals, a lord and lady under the rule of King Jalamart VI. There was always tension between them, though the king kept them both in check. Both royals by blood began vying for the throne when the king fell ill with no direct heir. Amasandros managed to secure the crown, and in such, his dominance over Ratalis. He levied heavy taxes against her lands, plunging the once profitable region into poverty, and keeping her firmly beneath his heel. When an army of creatures ascended upon the kingdom, requiring his attention, he demanded aid from all his subjects. Ritalis said she would answer the call for aid only when he promised a reprieve from the heavy taxes and her lands returned. She received a message saying he accepted her terms, and so she came to the castle. However, upon arrival, she was collared, bound in heavy chains, and thrown in the dungeon, where she sat for several years. She repeatedly called upon the gods, demanding power, demanding retribution for the decades of torment she endured at his hands. And as she slowly fell into despair, they answered. Radiant energy coursed through her body, breaking free from the dungeon. She carved a path of destruction through the castle until she finally arrived at the throne room, where he sat before her in full armor. The two fought, her with new unknown magics, and him with centuries of military experience and a treasury of artifacts. Their fight lasted several days, during which the castle and much of the surrounding city was laid to waste. Amysandrus landed the final blow, impaling Ritalis to a wall with his sword. With her dying breath, Ritalis cursed him, binding her soul to his for all eternity. Shortly thereafter, he too succumbed to his wounds and died. And, once you'd kind of finished reading through it initially, she's like, you see, the power that was granted to her also brought into actuality the curse that she wished upon him. Their souls bound to each other so that neither may ever rest. The souls, locked in turmoil, intended to wander forever amidst the land they fought over. Though, when the cataclysm occurred, the souls were birthed anew. Cursed, powerful souls given form once more. Rayem, the black unicorn, and Amos, the white lion, as you know them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, though. Amos knew nothing of his past, nor did he really care. Tell me, what does Rayem remember?
To be honest, we haven't really talked as much. She's come into my life recently.
Interesting. I met a young man in the material plane a few years ago. He's been searching for a way to enable Amos to take physical form at will. He paid quite handsomely to be allowed to pore over books and scrolls for a couple of weeks, but alas, he was unable to find what he was looking for and left. Though I do believe he mentioned something about Gathorum.
Do you remember the name of this man?
He did not speak it.
Where was the last time you saw this?
This would have been in my library in the material plane.
Where is your library in the material plane?
Currently, it is, and she kind of thinks, like, down near the Draskin Channel, though it does move from place to place.
Do we have permission to visit it?
If you can find it, absolutely. It travels so that I may continue to collect books to add to it.
We'll keep an eye out for it. Again, this is very detailed. Thank you very, very much.
You're quite welcome. The other thing you asked about was the Orb of Katsura.
Yes, I did.
The orb was a gift from Neuralis to an elf priestess, Katsura. While it is a known artifact, it was far from one of spectacular legend. Katsura was a healer, and the orb bolstered those abilities. It drew an energy from the area surrounding it, channeling it into her spells. However, being an object of celestial origin, as long as it exists in the material plane, it will gradually grow to be twisted, corrupted. There was mention within my books of a ritual that could be performed that would return the orb to a purified state. Unfortunately, the books I possess do not go into any detail of specifics of what that ritual entailed, or what effects the orb would exhibit while corrupted. If I had to guess, they didn't let it get to that point, at least not while she had it. The Wood Elves and Shieldmista may know, but getting to them tends to be troublesome. But
You
I
say the
digress.
elves? The elves where?
In Shilmista, which is
In
the
Shilmista.
big ass forest up there. I guess you can't see.
The ones who are traditionalists.
Yeah, the wood elves in Shilmista, which is this big ass forest here, and the last place that her library was down in here,
Yeah.
south of the Deadlands, north of the Draskin Channel.
Okay.
Is that a
Draskin.
magical forest?
There is magics that entwine through it, yes.
Might find the Yanti there.
But I digress. That during her life, many cities were facing repeat assaults by dragons, so Katsura moved from place to place, trying to tend to the injured. But with so many cities falling to the dragons, it was inevitable that her, the orb along with her, vanished.
Maybe not. That's interesting information.
And then, it's like, but that is what I managed to find on them. And then turns to Kay. It's like, you were curious about portals to the Fae. Well, you won't find any portals to the Feywilds here in the Shadowlands. Though, if entry to the Fae is what you seek, there are things to consider. As you are not of Fae origin, even if you have been Fae touched, another Fae cannot take you there in the same manner as they go themselves, or can take others of their kind. As such, you'll need to find where the weave is thin, and find or forge a portal yourself. The weave shifts and moves, so there is no set locations where these portals could appear. However, the weave between the material and the Fey planes are usually at their thinnest and force where magic thrives, where the magic of the Feywilds can be found spilling through into the material plane. There are a few locations I can think of where the force are frequently and heavily entwined with magics, and may be more prone to these portals, though even then I cannot guarantee. The first is Haldanura, a forest that covers the majority of Faramore. Warped by magics nearly a millennia ago, the force is believed to be alive in a much more literal sense than normal. And that's...
Damn me.
that one.
Well, yeah, that's far away, but okay.
The second is Shilmista, believed to be the birthplace of the elves. Hidden within its depths lay many secrets, though often heavily guarded by the elves there. And the third is the borders of the Deshkish Forest and the Desolate Wastes. After the effects of the cataclysm, the after effects of the cataclysm are still strongly felt, though be wary there. While some tears in the weave may lead to the Feywilds, others may lead to places much more sinister.
Then this?
Yes.
Probably leads to the K is just unsurmountingly going to be like probably leads like somewhere stupid like the Underdark.
Oh no, you wouldn't take a portal to get to the Underdark. Well, teleportation circle maybe. More think of things like the Abyssal Plane.
Oh, that's terrible. That is way worse than this.
On the plus side, I can communicate with people there.
That's right.
He's like, let's go to the Abyssal Plane. I can talk to people there.
No. No, you can't.
But you spend a while chatting, and like, did you guys have any additional questions that you wanted to ask Ithariel at this point?
Yeah. If we stumble upon your roving library, do we but knock to get inside, or is there a passphrase that seems to be popular?
No, you can knock and come in. I'm usually there.
Okay,
Good to know.
not how I thought this was.
And she just kind of chuckles and it's like, I'm not the only one of me.
Also, the wanderer who was there, was he a half-elf by any chance?
Yes, I believe he was.
Red hair?
What's left of it,
Reddish
yes.
hair? What's left of it? That's it. That's all. Those are the only questions.
Cat
I'm going
cat
to
bum.
I'm going to continue making a copy of.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna write some backstory for this one, and just like, boom, small story for it.
Boom! Suddenly, the author comes out. Blech.
So it's either that or write smut. So
You wrote me a novel.
I wrote you a chapter in a book.
Yeah.
And it wasn't smut. How disappointing.
I know, right?
No, that's for later.
That's for the
Yeah,
other
Jamie
book
has
that
Jamie's
you
the
need
other. Yeah,
translated.
that's the other book that Jamie has.
It's the other part I have.
What's Cran doing in all this? Is she just like listening politely?
Yeah,
to us?
she's listening. Like she doesn't. She's not like gripping her weapon, but she has her palm kind of resting on the hand. Like she's a bit she's still unnerved at this whole thing, because as you kind of picked up when from Athariel's comment, Cran killed her.
For sure.
So Cran is processing a lot of this at the moment.
Another question. Oh, go on, Kay.
Oh, no. I was just going to be sassy. It's fine.
Of course.
Of course.
I'd like to ask her if she knows if anyone survived, like when Ilbadai, I think, was the giant
Ilbodire?
dwarf.
Yeah.
Ilbadire. If anyone maybe survived from that group, if she knows.
I'd have to look into it, but if it's Ilbodire, I doubt it.
Yeah, if you know before we leave, I would love to know before we leave.
Well, we have to wait for Ilbodire to arrive, so...
Oh, I wouldn't know that. I'm sorry. I'm metagaming. I was Theo, so I wouldn't know that Ilbadire was there. My apologies.
It's
I'm
fine.
having a moment where I'm trying to remember Obadiah.
Yeah, Ilbodire was the undead dwarf that...
Oh, yes, that's right.
with the
That's
who's
okay.
conjured as dual hammers. We'll just
Thanks
say
for
that,
remembering. I didn't remember.
Yeah, we'll just say that like during your guys' walk, because it was a long walk back to Ithariel's place. That
Hey, what's up? The crazy dwarf thing tried to attack and kill us. His name was Obadiah. Didn't know what the hell that was.
Perfect. Thank you. I
Um,
usually do other people's notes in a different color, so I know, and I didn't this time.
It's all good.
It's
One
all
second, I
good.
actually do need to quickly step away. So
it's fine. Where is I in here? Oh no, everyone's shifted on the screen. Oh, nope, never mind. We're still in the right positions. Yeah, depending on who turns off their camera, it like rotates us around. So like if Mel has her camera off, but Jamie is here, then Jamie becomes the DM and everyone else shifts down.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Yep.
Jamie gets it's really good for easy for Jamie to get a promotion.
Yeah,
Mel,
she just has
get
to
out of
turn off
here!
the camera. Take out Mel and I suddenly become the Overlord.
Wait, do I move then? Do I become Theo?
Yeah, you usually become Theo, Mel becomes not Nathan, and I become Mel, or it swaps me and Theo, and then swaps Anna and Kay.
Oh.
Jim Rocks is like, I'm usually there. No, not creepy at all.
Yeah, that got me. I thought she meant just like it was Baba Yaga, just like a hut that's empty.
No.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I was thinking of. But now I'm thinking of kind of like the high level beings that split themselves off into like multiple like lesser versions of themselves to like gain experiences and knowledge throughout the world, and then they can just form back together and become just like all powerful in knowledge because they take all the experiences and mush them together. And I'm pretty sure in her case it's a more of a I exist in multiple places at once, and that's just no.
I actually have one more question for you. I'm sorry, I keep coming up with questions.
It's fine. We
I
have
hope
time.
this doesn't come off the wrong way. What are you again? We know the who, but how can you be in the material plane and then also in this crazy place? I'm trying to wrap my tiny little brain around this.
She's a lord of one of the realms of the shadow plane.
When
I'm
the
guessing.
Lords-
I'm guessing it's like God, her.
No, we're not quite that high up the chain, though. We did watch what happened to. Shoot, now I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Elfira. No, we've watched what happened to Elfira and them when they attempted to attain godhood. We're not so foolish.
Leads to another random elf pretending that you're them in order to get past your crazy old golem.
So, you're just a very powerful mage?
Yeah, as far as what I am, by all accounts, human.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
very, probably closer to like a god, like an archfey or something like that.
Human, thank you. Very helpful.
Yes, by all
Wow.
accounts, I'm human. But your friend has ascertained some correctly. There's more than one of me. Which is a good countermeasure to things such as death.
Don't be mad at poor Cran. Poor Cran here has had to go through some crazy life changes, from what I understand.
Shouldn't you be sleeping?
You know what?
Actually, we all should.
Yes, I assume you would all be tired. You've had quite the day.
4 points of exhaustion. 5 if you count listening through Kay and Sylvania.
Trying to explain magical technology? Yes, because one of
In a
us is
very
a complete
fast
idiot.
pace.
One of us is a complete idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about, and the other of which is an incredibly smart genius who knows way too much about what she's talking about, but also doesn't take time to breathe when she's speaking.
But she's like, get some rest. We'll take the journey to Targus tomorrow. Yes.
Is there somewhere we could lay down, possibly, other than our cat friend here?
Well, there had been the benches and such that you guys had slept around the first time you were here.
Oh, okay. Then we'll head over there.
Yeah.
Also, I
they're
apologize
padded.
for him.
It's fine. And like the chair that Kay is like sitting on, it just like picks up and scooches further back. She doesn't have to listen to you so close.
Full of surprises.
Yeah, the benches that you guys had laid on before, they were like they're padded benches, like they're nice benches. So
yeah,
it's not like laying on like a wooden.
It's not
or
like
something
having
like that.
to sleep at the airport because you have a 3-hour overlay.
Yeah.
From 2 to 6 in the morning.
Cran, like as you guys kind of move over, like Cran joins you, and she's kind of sitting there. Like every once in a while, she'll like look up at Athariel, just kind of like very cautious of her. But most of the time, she's kind of keeping her gaze kind of fixated on the ground.
Before we go to bed, then I'll like reach up and tap her shoulder and say, "Cran, I'll take first watch," in hopes to like make her feel better about the situation.
She smiles a little bit and she's like, she doesn't seem inclined to kill us.
No, she gave us a bunch of information, which is nice. And we
Lord Trump.
so also you were a main, from what I understand, you were a major contributor to
Her success.
to her, exactly, to her success. And let's be honest, you said that you killed her 2 years. Might be a little bit of a long, well, that's a long time for us, maybe not so long for her. But
Yeah, as the realization that, oh yeah, she's over 1,000 years old.
she's
Kind of
really
like rolls
old.
back in.
Yeah. I told her she's not really human. She's more like an archfey. So, she hasn't, she at least she doesn't seem to be holding a grudge about it.
Oh, she
I wonder
really
how
did.
many other people who've killed her over her 1,000 years of life. I actually don't want to know. Because that means that there are many copies of her, and I don't want to know how A, one, how does she make the copies, and then B, how long the copies live, and then C, how many copies are there.
Tis but a flesh wound. It's fine.
It's like a Horcruxes were just copies of you, man. Like, holy hell.
Would that work? Could a Horcrux be multiple clones of a human?
If you have a way to clone them,
Cloned
probably.
it.
If you had a way to clone people.
Cloned it.
Well, I mean, because Harry, I guess,
Harry was not a clone.
off-topic tangent.
That's an off-topic tangent.
But yeah, like Cran just kind of like smiles, like we should be fine. And she kind of like gives you like this like kind of like half-hearted smile. It's just like, if she fights, I've killed her once before.
Look at you! You're making jokes.
It's like, well, I succeeded at killing her once.
Anna's been rubbing off on you.
Oh, can you just imagine what if we had made her our enemy instead,
Oh,
and
God,
then casually came across like the Baba Yaga hut with her inside, and just be like,
That was a possibility.
Ooh.
"Are you dead?" Like, just imagine that. That's no. I'd rather murder the culty place.
The many people, some of whom were innocent.
We didn't murder them. To be
They
clear,
might
I
not
don't
be
think
all dead.
we didn't kill anyone. They may or may not be dead.
Oh, so you guys never found out why she's called the crazy bitch.
I just
You know what?
That's because you guys stopped me from continuing to ask about it.
Sometimes
So you know what?
you just
don't want to
learn
know.
leave well enough alone.
So people are taking the rest for the night?
Yes.
Yes.
Kay is definitely already unconscious.
I'm almost dead.
I still have 4 points of exhaustion.
Yeah. Okay. So people go and doze off. Kren takes a position kind of back, so her back's into a corner, so she's still facing out towards the room and all that. But she eventually drifts off as well, along with the rest of you.
DM, please heal Sylvania.
Yep, can do. I can fire that through.
Are we hitting that long rest button?
Yeah, you can take the long rest button.
Oh, good.
Anna's like, God, I had like 4 health, maybe. It's probably good.
Theo, as you are meditating, you find your mind slipping once more into that void.
Oh,
And
no.
You try to shake free from it, like from your meditation, but can't.
Oh, okay.
You find yourself back in that same area, the climbing blindly towards a sound, the sound of hard footsteps, or like the clatter of hard footsteps against stone, slow and labored. As you climb this hill, as you had been doing before, you do reach the ridge and find yourself on a level area. And you can see an equine figure collapse on the ground, a faint white glow emanating from a long horn, blood flowing from its body, trickling like a light stream over the ridge of the cliff. You immediately recognize this as Rayem.
Oh.
What do you do?
I go over and I try to, well, even though I know magic hasn't worked before, I try to heal.
What are you casting?
I'm going to try casting Cure Wounds.
Okay, and that's a touch spell?
Yep.
Okay. You feel the magic kind of like flowing towards your fingers, and like as you place your hand on Rayem, the magic dissipates. You watch their horn kind of like lighten up a little bit, flickers before dulling back down again. But as you're placing your hand on Rayem, you feel a sudden weight bearing down on your shoulders, dragging you to your knees. As you look around, you see heavy chains binding you to the ground. Images flicker through your mind. A prison. Fires. Blood. You feel a surge of pain boring into your chest. Clutching at your chest, your fingers wrap around the hilt of a sword, plunge through your ribcage. The images stop, though the pain is still there, just not as overwhelming and intense, and the weapon is gone. You look up, and Rayem is standing over you in her much more familiar humanoid form. Her breathing is ragged, her purple dress stained with blood, but her demeanor more calm, more collected. You must bear these for a time while I recover. I will relieve you when I am able. But for now, you must go. And once more, you feel the hands reaching up from this ground, grabbing onto you and pulling you into the earth. And after a bit, you're engulfed in darkness. You watch as Rayem's light fades from your sight, and you find yourself back in Ithariel's keep. And go ahead.
Does my chest still hurt?
Yes.
Okay.
And as you place your hand on your chest, and like it hurts quite a bit. And like you go and you take like a look at your chest, and you see a large scar has formed in the center of your chest.
I quickly cover it back up. And I just like absently rub at it.
Like there's pain there,
Mm-hmm.
but like the touching of the scar doesn't hurt. There's just this slight pain that is perpetually there. It's not agonizing, it's not debilitating, but it's
a
there.
dull ache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, and like you're stopping and kind of like looking around, and like from your familiarity with your meditations, you're hitting the end of your usual meditation period, that usual 4 hours.
Yeah.
And as your meditation is completed, you look up and you can see Ithariel sitting in her chair, eyes closed, a smirk on her face, sitting by her fireplace. And she's sitting there and just making circles with her hand, a purple arcane trail following her fingertip, in case she'd stop. And then after several minutes, she'd start making those circles again.
If I detect magic, can I detect what she's doing?
Yeah, you can cast Detect Magic. That's still a first level spell, is it not?
Yep.
Roll me that potential explosion.
Oh my god, part of me wants this to fail in the politest way possible.
18.
Okay, so you do not explode. That would be hilarious. That would be absolutely on par for this group to have
Yeah.
like I'm
I
doing this
detect
mundane
magic.
thing and then suddenly wild magic surge.
I woke up and I decided to detect magic for funsies, and next thing you know, I became a plant.
That'd make you easier to deal with sometimes.
She's casting divination magic.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean she's
I'm
predicting
guessing.
what's gonna happen?
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk over to her.
As you approach, she kind of getting that sensation like someone's coming close. She kind of steps like, oh, hello.
Is that how you were able to keep tabs on us and everyone else?
Oh, no. This shows me past events. I was
Oh.
just watching things unfold.
What certain things were you watching unfold?
Purely what we just did.
The events of the past couple days. Would you like to see?
Well, yes, I wasn't. Well, the temple, I was with the group that went out. I went out to try and
Yes.
bear doubt on my group as they stayed back behind the temple.
She motions to a chair. It's like, sit, and then give me your hand.
Okay, I sit. I give her my hand.
As you place your hand in hers, just close your eyes, and she once again starts drawing that circle with her finger, and you find yourself floating over the temple. Almost in like a out-of-body experience type of situation, like a fixed point, but you're watching. You see the temple's light flicker. You see a door on the roof swing open. Sylvania, Annah, Kay, Cran, and Dog rushing out, and then dropping down to the ground, being led away by Shell before vanishing from your range of vision. You can see the hordes descending upon the temple, those left behind fighting a losing battle. The image shifts inside, and you can see Orbidir and Thimold and Merrick upstairs trying to fend enemies off, trying to obstruct the door leading into that upper room, when suddenly there's a loud clatter and part of the roof above has caved in. Creatures now starting to swarm in up and over the wall. They make their way into the training room, trying to barricade themselves in there. But it's not long before even that becomes overrun, and one by one, you watch them fall. The vision suddenly shifts, and you're floating over the canyon as the away group has set up their ambush. You watch as an undead dwarf leading the targets forward, a wagon being pulled along behind. The dwarf raises his hand, the group stopping. 2 great mauls conjured into existence, and the dwarf taking one in each hand, then the group rushing forwards. You see yourself standing on the cliff's ridge, looking down before turning and fleeing.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as the dwarf runs headlong into the away group, followed by 4 of the others who were with him. The fight is a bloody one. While the Acolytes of Light put up a valiant fight, it was only a matter of time before they were overwhelmed, crushed, and cut down. Each of them dying. And then you find yourself back in Ithariel's chamber.
Who was that undead dwarf, if I may ask?
That is Ilbodire. Rank 2 among the leaders of the Shadowlands. He owed me a favor. It just so happened that you put something between him and him fulfilling that favor. So they were extinguished.
Yes, well, it wasn't necessarily me who put things in between him and what you needed done. I imagine he
Which
was
is
going to
fair.
go and wipe out the temple.
No, he was delivering things here. He
Oh.
should be here tomorrow.
Oh. Well. I imagine you feel some satisfaction.
I have had this thorn in my side for over 100 years. To have those who invaded my lands, destroyed my cities, and kill my people, to have them extinguished. Yes, I am satisfied. I am pleased. Delighted, even, that you were able to accomplish what their cursed temple had stopped me from doing. And so while I couldn't be the one to deliver the final blow as I had hoped, the fact that they still fell and have been extinguished, and that I can still go and watch their final moments, is satisfying.
Well, I have to say that I'm a little pleased, I guess, since I understand the feeling of having a thorn in your side that you want vanquished.
This case, like, it's not me, I swear.
So I at least understand your satisfaction.
You all did surprisingly well.
To be honest, I think we were fumbling our whole way through, but we came through in the end.
That's most of
Honest.
what life is, isn't it? Especially
Yes.
for the... And kind of looks over at Kay, Annah, Sylvania, and Krant. Especially for the shorter-lived species.
Yeah,
Rude.
we all just stumble our way through. That's very true.
And it's not rude, Kay. All of you live literally less than a tenth of what she has survived.
Does it matter to me? Also, wasn't she human?
Yes, she's also been around
She's-
for over 1,000 years.
She's by all accounts human.
All accounts.
But which implies that technically I could find some way to live for an absurd amount of time.
I don't know if you want that right now.
Could
but,
you?
know,
Yes. Will she help you do so? I
No.
don't think so.
I don't
Not
think
really.
she'll help me do it, but that
But
doesn't
is it
mean
possible? Yes.
Kay won't come across it at some point. I mean, one dude became a lich. That is an option that could be put on the table. I don't think Kay wants to become a lich. That'd probably defeat Kay's purpose. But, like, can you imagine multiple Kays in multiple dimensions at once? That sounds
Kay-
fucking amazing.
Kay is final boss. So.
But Ithara was just like, yes, and as we speak, the temple is being razed to the ground, to be left but nothing but rubble. And soon I can start rebuilding, and my people can finally return. It will be some time before things here return to how they were once. But time is something I have an abundance of.
Yes, I think we gathered as much. Thank you for indulging us, letting
Thank
us
you for
scratch your back
assisting.
for a way out of here, and as well as going beyond a little farther and helping us to find the information we needed,
I must
particularly
ask,
on the Scorched Hammer. Those guys were very tricky.
I must ask though, how did you get the orc to join you?
I have no idea. You'll have to ask Anna. She has that effect.
She has that effect on people.
No, truly.
What is she, like Luffy
Anna-
from One Piece?
I met
She
Anna on a
punches everyone
caravan.
with kindness and then acquires them.
Yeah. But no, truly, I met her on a caravan, and we came across her burnt village.
Ah, thus the revenge.
Yes. Well, I seem to be into helping others find and fulfill their revenge. So
It can be a lucrative venture.
well, it's created some interesting experiences.
Was there anything else you wanted to chat with Theioryn
No.
about?
Now I'm gonna get up and say, well, I'm still rather exhausted from having to run away from that terrifying dwarf. So I will leave you to indulge in your pleasure, and I will go back and sit back down.
Okay.
I'm still exhausted from being exhausted. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go try
literally.
to be less exhausted.
I'm pretty sure I still have 3 points of exhaustion, and I need to do 3 long rests for me to get rid of them.
So the next morning, as people are waking, you see an undead dwarf and Athariel sitting before the fire, drinking tea. And as you start stirring, the dwarf kind of looks your way and smirks. And so this is the lot of buffoons who brought down that there temple. Must say that's fucking impressive for such a scraggly lot. Though you've been softening up that temple there for quite some time, just had that last dare hurdle to get over. Isn't that like little Tari? And as those words leave his lips, a spear held by one of the nearby statues flips into the air and plunges through his chest, pinning him to the chair. And she's like,
I'm just picturing him chuckling right now.
And she's like, we've already discussed what happens if you don't stop calling me that. And the dwarf just laughs as he steps forward, pulling himself off of the spear. It's like, Aye, you'd kill me. Wasn't that the threat? And how's that plan been going for you? And she smiles and back at him. Is like, about as well as your attempts. And he just like kind of scowls, like, you and that bloody loop of yours. Doubt they'd fare nearly as well against the literal army that's been marching against the top 4. She's like, Ilbodire, I'm not blind to the plight of the other realms, but there's still a step forward to reclaiming our lands from these zealots. But nevertheless, thank you for bringing me the components I requested. Since you've arrived, that means we can head out shortly. You best be getting back to the front lines as well. I can only imagine how much Kavorkas must be struggling without you there. Don't you know it? You'd think a giant could handle himself, but I swear he's so helpless without me. But speaking of that, now that your little squabble here is over, how long till you be joining us in the front lines? When I'm commanded by Vekarath, I shall join the fight. Until then, my people must be returned home. And the dwarf kind of scoffs and turns, waving the several others to follow him. And you watch as Theo, the group that you'd seen pulling the wagon with him, kind of come out, and they follow him out the front door.
Does he have a beard?
Pardon?
Does he have a beard, or was he like completely clean shaven?
The dwarf? He has a beard.
The dwarf. He has a beard. Am I awake when they're having this awesome conversation?
Oh, yeah.
And as he's leaving?
Oh my god,
you're
you're
all
gonna
waking
ask
up.
the dwarf to teach you something in Dwarvish.
I wanna, before he like gets too far, I wanna be like in my broken ass dwarvish, I want to say, like, I'm Annah, I like your beard, because that was one of the things I learned.
That was one of the first things you learned, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, even though I didn't actually write down, like, phonetically what it was.
Because yeah, that was something that Zuging's friend taught you in the bar.
Bard friend. Yeah.
Yep.
Roll me a charisma check.
Oh boy. All right. Charisma.
Oh,
It's an 11.
I mean, that's like just perfectly just deadpanly normal.
I from behind Annah, I go, she's learning.
uh,
And then in Dwarven I say, she likes your beard.
and as you hear Theo saying, she's Annah, she likes your beard. Like he kind of, like you get the she's Annah part, but then she says something that you don't understand. But it was not what you had said, and I want you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, I insulted him. Boop boop 16.
16. Okay.
I would like to please quickly add, please don't kill her.
As the words leave your lips, the guy Theo is saying this. You watch as he grabs one of the books off the shelf and turns and whips it at your head. And Theo, what you had heard Annah say, because it's also the first time Annah said, "I like your beard" while you've been around.
Oh God, no! He lied to her, didn't she?
Basically, he said, "I'm Annah. You look like shit."
Oh no!
As he throws this book, and you barely manage to dodge the book as it gets thrown at your head. And you just see Ithariel sitting there just laughing.
He's not gonna teach me anything.
I had the notes, like, there's one thing that you got taught was not what you thought it was being taught.
I was duped.
Because the arm wrestle one is legit. You've used that one before, but yeah. Zuking's buddy.
I think Theo knew the whole time.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Theo knew the whole time.
Okay. Wow.
Oh.
That came back to bite me in the ass.
Could have been
It was
worse.
not a
Could have been
mistake.
hit in the head with the book.
Conversations in bars and other dwarves thinking they're funny.
Yep.
She really is impressed with your beard.
You watch this kind of just like runs his hand down his beard and turns and continues heading out the front door.
I was very...
You cut out.
I was very impressed with your flails.
So as he leaves, Ithariel kind of rolls up and she's like, "So now that he's brought our supplies, we can head out." And she's like, "Gather your belongings, then we can be on our way."
I look up to Cran. Cran, I think I still need your help. It has to be you. If it's not you, you're going to leave me in a very dire, detrimental fate with that one. And I point at Kay. I'm still very exhausted. Can I hit a ride with you?
As you're talking with Cran, you're like, "Help!" As you walk out there, as you grab your stuff and follow Ithariel out the front door, you see a carriage.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna get in that carriage and I'm gonna sleep.
Yeah,
You're gonna meditate.
You see
Elves don't sleep.
You see a large carriage hooked onto a pair of skeletal horses. Ithariel's wheelchair rolls up and she kind of waves forward towards the carriage.
Oh,
and watches
man.
a ramp slides forward and kind of tips down. She Her chair rolls up the ramp, and the ramp soon follows
Oh,
back
man.
up into it.
First Horcruxes, now Thestrals, huh? We're going to Hogwarts, kids.
And she kind of motions for you to join the wagon. As you all hop in, and she's like, the journey there will take the majority of the days. When we arrive in Targus, you'll have until tomorrow evening to look around, but it is imperative that you meet me at least 2 hours before it is time to return to the material plane. Failure to do so will result in not having enough time to remove the Avascalis from you. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wonderful. And like you feel the wagon like start to jostle as it pulls away. And the journey does take the majority of the daylight hours.
Who's beside me?
In the wagon, there is let's see, you would have K on one side and Cran on the other.
Sleep on Cram, sleep on K, sleep on Cran, sleep on K. I go to Cran and be like, can I use you as a pillow?
Also, you cannot benefit from more than one long rest per day.
I can still role play Sleepy.
Yes, you can. I'm just letting you know that it's not going to remove a level of your exhaustion.
I have 3 points of exhaustion. I'm tired. I'm sleeping on someone.
So are you slumping over on K or are you slumping over on Cran?
I'm something over on Cram.
Okay.
Knowing K, he'll braid flowers and shit in my hair.
Or start drawing
Where
on
am
your
I gonna
face.
Or start drawing on my face.
I was like, where am I gonna get stuff to braid? Drawing is more, but then you guys guessed it.
Yeah.
I love Theo. I'm still in a spat with Theo, but we're on like hiatus of our spat because we're in another dimension that's trying to kill us. I mean, what?
Shadowlands is absolutely not Shadow Australia.
I mean, Australia only has spiders the size of dinner plates. Huntsman spiders are actually super good for your household.
Yeah.
All I can think of is like, go Shadow Broncos.
I'm also thinking of shadow geckos now, because the one time I was in Australia, I bumped a painting on the wall and like 27 geckos just went whoosh across the walls behind it, and I had a mini heart attack.
Yeah.
Where's the painting?
So yeah,
It was a very large painting.
The journey does take the majority of the day, and as night descends, you eventually do roll through a large stone gate into the walled city. The carriage is parked, and the attendants quickly rush to take care of it as Thariel descends the ramp. She smiles and nods to them, and then motions for you to follow her. The city around you is bustling with various races. Elves, orcs, bugbears, as well as several of the more monstrous races, including illithids, dryaders, and tricrine. As Ithariel proceeds forward, most of the people who she's passing are, as soon as they notice her, move to the side of the street and allow her passage, many of them bowing to her as she does so. Aside from the structures being more suited to the variety of beings that utilize them, especially when it comes to things like doorways being much larger and such, you quickly begin to see similarities between this city and a lot of other major cities, especially regarding things like the presence of bars, shops, restaurants, and more. Ithariel leads you to a large tower near the center of the city, and as she rolls up, she turns to you like, once more, you have until tomorrow night to explore the city. When night falls, be here, and I will begin removing the Avascalis. Don't be late, and have fun. I have things to attend to. And she turns and gently knocks on the door. What are people doing?
Are we gonna go shopping? Do I have money to go shopping?
I do want a souvenir.
It's like mom taking you to the amusement park or the mall and being like, "Okay, kids." Back in the days before
be back at 3.
back in the days before cell phones, synchronize your walkie-talkies. Be back by my 3.
You had walkie-talkies? Man, I just had a
Yeah.
watch. I was told to meet in the electronics department in half an hour.
No, yeah, we had
In
walkie-talkies.
the Walmart, because that's where we went.
Fun
we could
fact,
go to the
walkie-talkies actually do not work very well in West Edmonton Mall because you're not the only people with walkie-talkies in the mall.
Well, not only that, but the radio signals in general do not tend to carry very well in that mall, regardless of whether you're on
No.
walkie-talkies or not.
Because the walls are made out of cement. And cement doesn't support radio signals.
It's also why Wi-Fi and GPS is shit inside the mall, too.
Anyways,
so what are people doing?
Let's go shopping!
And actually, we're going to take a quick break here. So we'll be back in like 10-ish minutes. And I'm going to remember to put on the right screen. Boop. And we are back. We interrupt this chat about fanfics to return to our regularly scheduled D&D.
It was a deep philosophical conversation, right? Very meaningful.
And
very.
So
now,
the biggest meaning that we came out of this was don't use whole and don't tag 30 different tags for the same damn fucking thing. On to the campaign. So what are people doing?
I want to go shopping. I would like to find, pretty sure I need some form of short sword because I no longer have a short sword. Almost positive I definitely fucked up my short swords to the point of which they're almost not usable. So it's probably a good life plan for me to acquire a new short sword.
Okay.
I don't have a proper weapon anymore.
Because you threw away your Equa.
Yeah, I cast light on it and I threw it.
Okay. Anna, was there any weapons that you were looking to buy?
No, not in particular. I have a little tiny bit of money to burn, and if there was like a cool souvenir-esque weapon, like a nifty magical sling that suddenly didn't cost a shit ton of money, I would buy it. But otherwise, I'm just looking for like a cheap ring or something that reminds me of this place.
Okay. Kay, in regards to, like, if you're grabbing a short sword, those are 10 GP. The Equa is...
I'll probably shop around. No, I don't necessarily need a Equa.
Yeah.
Well, Rip, Kay can't afford shit. So Kay's gonna shop. Nope. I keep forgetting that I'm actually poor, but because money, I'm not used to currency. I have money. I can do things with it. Not a lot of fun things with it.
Yeah. So you go and you take a look at the store, and if you're buying weapons, they're just going to be the standard listed price.
Okay.
But you go through and Anna, roll me an investigation check as you're going through the city.
Investigation. It's a 15.
A 15. Okay. So while you're going around, you do find like a little knick-knack shop, essentially. It's less of like a souvenir store that you'd like see when you go into somewhere like West Edmonton Mall, and more of just like miscellaneous, just more like a general store, just like kind of the mishmash of a whole bunch of different things.
Sweet.
And and while you're in there, you do find a ring. It's a metal ring that has a black gemstone at its top. and while you're standing there and you're looking at it, and you can watch as like the gem seems to have like something almost like moving and twisting about inside of it. And like even when you're just like holding it still, looking at it, like you can see it moving. So it's not even just like as the light changes, it shifts. It's like even when you're just like sitting there, you can watch it kind of like twisting about inside.
How much? And are there 2 of them?
Yes, there are 2 of them. As for how much, those are 2 gold.
Okay. Do you think one... are they different sizes?
There are several sizes.
Sweet. I want
Are you
the one
proposing to
that's
Cran?
Yes, I'm giving one to Cran.
This just in: Annah is now marrying Cran.
Will Cran say yes, or will Cran reject Anna like I was rejected?
No, they're friendship rings.
It's like the gold rings in Yuri on Ice.
Yes.
They're friendship rings.
We'll see you.
Or
Congratulations on your marriage!
They're promise rings.
Yeah,
Nice.
like Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus were cousins. So
That's why Yuri on Ice was referenced.
They were
here.
not.
My childhood.
So yeah, it's 2 gold apiece, and yeah, you can find one that would fit on Cran, and Cran would be there too. So Cran's following on with you guys.
I'm trying to like be discreet as I'm looking at them, and then when I offer it to Cran, I do not get down on one knee, but
Well, yeah, because she'd have to get down on one knee to reach it.
Do you go in front of a church?
no.
Slowly take off her glove.
So, out of
Put it on her
curiosity,
finger.
because Anna found super cool like stuff. I was wondering actually if because jewelry might be affordable for Kay, if Kay can find like an accessory armlet to go on his metal arm. Of like a similar kind of like maybe a weird gemstone-y thing, but just like a metal part to like accessorize his arm and make it K-like instead of just this whatever metal substance is my arm. He kind of wants to personalize his arm a little bit.
Okay. Roman investigation check.
All right, I have to click on a button to find out what I can find. That one. That one again. Okay, well, it rolled it twice. That's poor. I'm probably not going to find what I'm looking for.
You're not able to find something that's like has like the gemstones inlaid in it, but you do find it's almost like a braided band of metal that you figure you could probably get Sylvania to weld onto the arm if you so chose.
Cool. How much?
That'd be 2 gold.
Done.
DM,
Yes.
what's the state of our clothing? Is it really patchwork right now?
I feel like someone needs to learn prestidigitation. Is just like, I don't care who learns it.
I feel like
care.
someone.
Kay has to learn it.
I feel like
Someone needs to learn prestidigitation real fast.
The clothes are starting to get into a bit more of a bit more of a tattered state, considering that you've all been going around for quite a while with like 1 or 2 pairs or 2 sets of clothes. You're not exposing yourself to the world with the state of your clothes at the moment, but
I think I need a new pair of boots, especially after that swamp. A new pair of pants, possibly a new poncho.
I definitely know that Kay does want to get new clothing, and like not so much like the armor asset, but like get everything like cleaned and then get like a new style going for him, because I think he's evolved out of the wearing clothes to protect his arm because it's fucking metal arm. But Kay is like, I'm poor. I don't want to go shopping when I'm poor. I'm going to wait for that tax refund, otherwise known as finishing the freaking side quest for money like we were supposed to do over 8 months ago. What?
There.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know I burnt a set of clothes when we were in the swamp.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go clothes shopping.
It has not been that long now.
January.
Pretty sure it was January or February when
It was
we
before
started.
the end times. The times.
Anyways.
It was like a session or two before March 13th.
Yeah, you guys have been here a while. Well,
Yeah,
on this side quest for a while, which then turned into another quest because you guys jumped through a fucking portal.
We had no.
We've
We didn't want to fight the lizard men.
We've almost been doing this campaign remotely for the same time as we were doing it not remotely.
Don't tell me that. Hey, where do I go buy clothes?
So you go, like, you're able to find like several clothing shops throughout the city. Roll me a quick investigation. Like, are you trying to replace the clothes that you have something very similar? Or are you trying to go for a very different style? Like,
It might be a different style. I've been wearing my poncho I'll probably keep my poncho. But or something like my poncho, like if I find a cloak that's really nifty.
Yeah.
Or any other kind of hooded cloak or anything with a hood really. But yeah,
roll me
I'm
an
just
investigation check. 11.
11.
As you're going around, you're finding that, like, because everything is like blacks and grays, you're like, I don't know if there's color in any of this.
This is kind of backfiring on me. At the same time, I only really wear black, white, and gray.
Roll me a straight intelligence check.
Part of me wants there to be color, and Theo can't tell, and then just walks out of the Fae in like hot pink. I so want it to be true.
Most of the clothes here are blacks and whites and grays and stuff like that. You're able to find, like, you can find common clothes for pretty cheap, like just like standard, just like shirt, pants, stuff like that. If you're looking to get something that's a bit more rugged, a bit more durable, it costs you about 2 gold.
Yeah, I'll get something that's a bit more durable.
Yeah, so that'd be traveler's clothes technically.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 gold for a full set of traveler's clothes. And that gets you an okay set of boots.
Yay! My boots are coming apart.
Yeah, you like lift up the toe on your foot, and it just separates from the from the sole.
That's been bothering me for weeks.
It's like flip flops every time it takes a step. Just clap, clap, clap.
Yeah. I think I'm going, instead of purchasing a Yilqua, I think I'm just going to purchase a short sword for now.
Okay, and that's 10 gold.
Yeah.
Outside of shopping, was there anything people were wanting to do?
Are the inhabitants pretty friendly?
They seem so. You haven't been mugged. You haven't had people giving you excessively strange looks. You just, like, you stand a little bit because you're clearly not necessarily from here.
Okay.
Just with
I
your,
was wondering.
like, even just like as you're looking around, just like you look kind of like tourists, but not to the extent
Imagine we do.
But not to the extent of like, it's like, oh, what are they doing here? Because as I said, like, there's a variety of races here. So you're seeing elves, you're seeing goblins, you're seeing gnomes and bugbears and stuff like that. So you don't stand out just due to what race you are or anything like that. Just, it's the dumbfounded, what is all of this that's kind of giving you away.
No, I'm just gonna stay by Cran's side the entire time, and just go where Cran goes, and make sure that I don't lose track of time.
Was there anything...
I'll take a wander and see if they have, like, a small wander, not very far, and see what sort of sweets and candies I can procure.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
Since, I wonder if they eat sweets here in the Shadowlands. Investigation, you say? 18.
Well, you can't see much in the way of colors here. Your nose, however, very quickly picks up on various sweet scents.
Oh.
And as you and Cran are the 4 or the 5 of you are all walking along, 6 if we include dog. Are all
It's
walking
6.
Yeah, 6 including dog. Are all walking along. You just watch Theo kind of perk up and just
I
turn.
smell sugar.
And Theo, you come across this place, and they've got what looks like little popsicle sticks with some sort of gray, looks kind of like a solidified gelatin on the end of the sticks. And then they've also got things that you kind of recognize based more off the shape, things like pretzels, stuff like that, as well as cupcakes. But once again, grays and blacks and stuff like that.
I go to the vendor. Excuse me, what is this jello-looking thing?
That's a sweet pop.
That's a what?
A sweet pop.
A sweet pop. What's in a sweet pop?
Sweets?
You know what? Good enough for me. How much?
Silver apiece.
All right. Does anybody want a sweet pop?
Yes, and I'll slam down the silver.
Okay. Do you want a sweet pop? Anna, take your silver back. I put down a gold piece and go, give me 10 sweet pops.
He picks up 10 sweet pops and hands them over to you.
Thank you very much. There's one for Anna, and I hand one to Kay. And one for Cran.
Cran takes it.
One for Syl. She can have a second one for Dog, even though Dog doesn't need it. And I have 4 left. One is for me, so I have 3 left.
As you put put them in your mouth, they taste almost like maple.
Oh.
Like, you know those basically where they take the stick, lay it down in the snow, and then pour the hot maple in, and they would
Oh yeah, I know that.
They basically made that just without requiring the cold to do it. So it was basically candied maple on a stick.
That's pretty good.
Damn
Can
right.
I get the other wrapped up in a little something, like a little bag?
He takes the remaining 3 and wraps those up and puts a little twist on them and hands them back to you.
Thank you very much. And I put them in my bag.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you, Theo.
You're welcome.
Cran is just kind of looking at it, just
Kay's gonna wrap it up and put it in his bag, but a side pocket in his bag that he never goes in, with the full intention of probably forgetting about it.
Well, that's the last time I buy you something.
Is there anything else that people are wanting to do? Okay. So over the course of the next day or so, you wander around exploring the city. You don't get mugged. You don't get stabbed. And for the most part, some people know, can see the vibes, they look kind of like touristy people because they look lost. But no one's really paying you much mind. You go through the next day. You're able to stop in. You find somewhere nice to just have a sit down, have a quick eat, and all that kind of stuff. And then and Cran treats you to that one. She had a little bit of money, so she buys people breakfast. And over the course of the day, you explore the city. You see some creatures that you've never seen before. You see one, you see one fellow who's riding along through town. He's got this very big, almost rhino-like creature that has a pair of large tusks coming out from its lower jaw, and it's hauling behind just this huge cart. And you watch as it's like trotting down the road. Like people are like all piling over to the one side to let this thing past.
I imagine Syl taking note of like all the creatures and scribbling them down, like making like little like 10-second sketches of them and making notes of their physical descriptions. I don't actually know, but I feel Syl is going to be like super fascinated by everything and she's going to want to talk to everything, but I feel like the group is going to be like, no, Syl, we have an objective today and we have to make sure we're on time.
Yep.
Sadly,
So-
I have to go now, so I'll see you guys a little later.
Okay.
Ciao.
What?
Oh no, that messes up everything.
Did it actually mess up everything?
Yeah, because now there's only 3 people in the
Oh, in the call.
uno momento.
Who do I become?
Oh, you are split in two.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
cut in half.
I love it.
Wow.
Everything else. Is
Wow.
fine.
Can
Talk about a
just-
split personality.
Ew. It's quite the cutting remark.
Can I join it with this and have it kick me back to the right spot? No, that is not the right spot. Everything everything exploded.
Thanks, Jamie.
How dare you?
Oh. Now you're.
Yep, the whole thing is just fucked.
Technical issues are fun.
Technical issues are great. Let's see if I can fix said technical issues.
Well, you're making progress.
I'm making progress. Unfortunately, I think basically what it needs is... Oh, actually, I know how to do this. Uno momento discordapp.com. And let's drag in someone who's not me into this call, because apparently it won't let me join from 2 locations. How dare they? I should have prepared for this, but I did not, because hoipadoip.
Oh, you made your adult life decisions.
They were just the wrong ones.
Failure's okay. Failure should be allowed. You'll get there someday.
Actually, I think I know where I might have put it. Did I put that on this one? Discordapp.com. Were you logged into the account? Haha! Apparently Discord's app name is Clyde.
Sure.
Oh yeah, Discord's been giving like more and more little like Easter eggs and information bits when you sign into it. It's pretty cute.
Okay.
Little tips.
There's 2 of me.
I wish I could help, but all your buttons are like way over there on the other side of the city.
On the
Okay,
other
talk.
side-
Okay, there, I've
Which
got...
of us? Both of us?
Okay,
Words.
we are... back in business!
Hey!
So
for
I-
all the people watching through technical difficulties.
Yeah. I should just get a
Fun.
big old nat 1 that I can just go slap on here and be like, we're fucking failing, give us a minute.
Actually, not a bad idea.
We are failing due to technical difficulties. Please.
Please stand by. There we go.
Yes, just don't do the rainbow colored television screen sound noise where it's like the beep don't do that.
Yeah, don't worry, I don't intend to. Okay, back to where we were. So you go around and you explore throughout the city, eventually making your way back to the tower. And as you arrive at the tower, you knock and the door swings open. Welcome, welcome. The master's waiting downstairs. Come on, quick. Chop, chop. Mustn't keep him waiting. And he turns and immediately just toadies off.
I will toady after him. Do not want to miss this train back home.
Oh yeah, I also do not want to be plague ridden on the train. On the train or after the train is, has gone back home. So yeah.
You're led down a long, winding staircase, leading down deep beneath the tower, and down, and down, and down.
Are we
there? And then
there
finally,
yet?
you're led through a door that takes you into an open chamber. About 30 square feet, or about 30 feet square. Torches lit with flickering gray flames line the cobblestone walls. The cold tiled floor beneath your feet can be felt even through your shoes. And there's a faint fog that seems to shift and envelop the floor, about half a foot deep. Across the room, you can see a large circular gateway built into the wall, and a solid stone wall behind it. Ithariel sits in her chair, not terribly far from the gateway, talking with a slender figure with long silver hair. As you approach, they both turn to face you. The figure at first glance appears elven, but upon closer examination of their appearance, many things seem off. Their ears, while still pointed, are much shorter, just barely longer than a human's. Their skin is gray, though not nearly as dark as you'd expect to see on a drow. Their body is slender, with subtle curves, resulting in a fairly androgynous appearance. They're wearing a dress-like robe that flows down to just above the floor. As you walk towards them, they bow to you, giving a polite curtsy as you approach. Welcome, guest, to my domain. I am Chorus, ruler of Hexus, the sixth realm of the Shadowlands. Ithariel here has told me of your assistance in purging the temple from her lands. While the temple there was by far the weakest, she has been the most successful at whittling them down and preventing them from spreading through her land further. Her losses from their initial invasion were quite catastrophic, but thanks to you, her people will be quite thrilled to finally return home. The rebuilding will take time, but we can at least finally start. You've done us a great service. For now, though, I must take my leave and finish preparing the portal. Interplanar travel is by no means a simple task. And they turn and they return, and you see them pulling out a chalk, and they continue like adding markings and all these runes that are spreading further and further away from this portal key on the wall. Ithariel motions to a spell circle drawn on the floor nearby, though it's a little hard to see beneath the fog. But there's a small pedestal at its center, about 2 feet high. While they finish that, we shall move the Abascalis. Please, everyone take a seat with your backs to the pedestal, and do try to enter. The process is not pleasant. And Cran kind of like sits down and just glares at the floor, just kind of like gripping onto her legs, just kind of like bracing herself for whatever's going to come. Is everyone else sitting down there as well?
Yeah.
Kay is gonna casually sit down and be like, "Can't be any worse than getting your arm ripped off." Kay is like, on a scale of arm removal and curse tainted flesh being removed, I feel I felt worse. So Kay's going into this very cocky.
Very cocky. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Mel.
Just gonna give Beanard a quick once over. I know Orbidier. I don't think saw any taint on Beanard, but I just want to know if he's gonna be.
I don't think you showed Orbidier
pain.
Beanard.
Oh.
Beanard's been like hiding in your bag almost the entire time you're in that temple.
Yeah, I just want to check to see then if he's got any taint on him, because I want to know how painful he's gonna make it for me.
You can't see any taint on him, but at the same time, his body has that like layer of hair, so you're not sure if he's tainted beneath it.
Okay, fingers crossed. I'm gonna hold Beanard in my hands as I sit against the pillar.
As you sit down, you're like holding this bee. Cran just kind of looks like, what is that?
This is my best friend Beanard. For our super secret stealth mission, I thought it would be good if he didn't come out to play.
You have a giant bug in your bag.
Yes. I also have pocket spiders.
Please keep them in pockets.
Okay.
And Cran just kind of like, oh no.
Right?
So as you sit down, as you all sit down, the runes start to pulse, and you can feel the Avascalis throb, and it almost feels like an electric current is surging through it. Slowly, from the outer edge, it feels like it's being seared away, millimeter by painful millimeter. I'd like everyone to roll me a con save.
Oh, fuck. Kay went into this cocky.
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Oh, and Kay got a nat 1 on that con save.
Kay was a little too cocky about this.
And can someone roll for Theo and someone roll for Sylvania?
Sure.
Oh, you did roll for Sylvania.
I rolled for Sylvania already.
Theo Con, here we are.
Oh, Nelly.
Oh, sorry, Theo.
So Sylvania and Theo have a very similar experience, which is probably going to be hurting more because Theo is well, or less, really. It's like depending on how you take it, how out there Theo is with his exhaustion.
Okay, now how bad does this go for Cran? Okay. So for Annah and Cran, the pain is intense, but for the most part you're able to manage. There are definite moments where your vision seems to kind of narrow and you have to kind of stop and refocus. You take 12 points of necrotic damage.
Crap.
Oh, this is gonna hurt me real bad.
For Sylvania and Theo, they groan and wince and ask to take a bit of a break, but their requests fall on deaf ears as Athariel continues casting the spell. You find yourself feeling dizzy, and as you try to focus on getting through the pain, they take 20 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, someone who's not me has to apply their damage.
Yep. Good. I've written it down, so we'll know.
And
oh, this is gonna hurt so much.
And Kay, you sit down. It's just like, I've had my arm cut off. This is gonna be a walk in the fucking park. And as it starts to, you feel it starting to burn, and you immediately just grab your leg and just like almost keel over from the fucking pain. And like you are breathing heavily, like, and you watch your knuckles on the one hand go white, and if the knuckles on your robot hand could go white, they fucking would be. As it seems to burn, and like you remember where they had kind of told you that the Avascalis was, but the burning seems to have started from much further out and is working its way in. You take 35 points of necrotic damage.
But I'm alive.
And you're alive, but you get to one point where you're just like, you can't even focus. All you can do is just like you've like grabbed like your bag and are just like biting onto something to hold, like just to try and bear through it.
I probably bite through like one of I imagine my backpack has multiple little like carrying straps. I figure not like the ones that go on the shoulders, but like the one that's up top. I
Yeah.
feel I was like,
Yeah, you're just mowing down on that thing, just grinding. And after nearly 2 hours of enduring the removal, Ithariel stops, taking several labored breaths. Towards the end, the pain subsides, and she looks up to you all. The Avascalis has been removed. There is a period during which it cannot take root again. We will use this time to return to the material plane. And she turns to Chorus. Are you done? And Chorus perks up, and you see them looking at a clipboard. Just about. We've only determined their destination. And they walk forward and hold out a clipboard to you. These are the potential access points we can send you through, though you'll need to decide quickly. The Shadowlands has very few anchors in the material plane, so gates open and close with only small windows to utilize them. We
What's
only
our
have
list?
time to utilize one gate, so you'll have to all go through together. I shall give you fair warning that as the gates on the material plane are not permanent fixtures, while sending you through there may be some disparity in the exact location. And on the clipboard...
Before we look at the clipboard, Kay is going to like pat Annah, like, slug, please.
And during the period where Avascalis was being removed, you saw like Kay essentially just keel over and like foaming at the mouth a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. It must be really bad if you're asking for this, and I'm gonna like dig through and slugworth the hell out of your lower back.
It's
Yeah.
my back.
So roll for the healing and roll for that surge.
All right, D20 for the surge. That's a 13.
Okay, didn't surge.
And then spells. I never remember what it actually is off the top of my head. Slugsworth.
It's fine. Anything is better.
1d8 plus 2?
3.
Or 1d8 plus 3?
1d8 plus 3. Ooh.
All right, you heal for 8 damagios.
Oh, I'm not at 1. It's all that matters.
So on the clipboard that you're given is a list of 6 names and the continent they're on.
All right.
And I'd like you guys to roll me history checks to see if you recognize any of the names.
Okay. Mel, you roll for you and Theo. I roll for Syl.
Theo has a 19.
Okay.
I have a 6.
Kay is
I
a
come from the
14,
mountains.
and Sylvania has a 16.
That's what I know.
Okay. So the names are Edrum,
Reasonably tracks.
which is in Kyotera, Oakwind, which is in Kyotera, Korgak, which is in Gothorum, Kalar, which is in Gothorum, Valakin, which is in Ithadril, and Fel, which is in Faramore. And so Kay... Actually, no, so Theo had the most. So Theo recognizes the name Valakin. He remembers going there once when they were young. It is to the far east of Ithadril, and they remember it being over around here.
Okay.
Sylvania had the next highest, and they recognized Fel, which is in Faramore, and Fel was up here near the forest, near Haldanura, and they remember their teacher would occasionally get materials from there, usually magically sensitive wood. Kay, you recognize the name Kalar. The name sounds familiar, but you don't know why.
Okay.
It is not a... Like, when you think about it, and you think about, like, where this memory would have come from, it is not a recent memory. It is something clouded by years. Annah, you know someone who lives in Edrum. His name is Taggart, and he's a merchant who you occasionally saw in Ithamir. And you remember seeing him in Ithamir last time you were there. You bought a fish from him.
Guys, I know where we gotta go to find the wizard.
But at the same time, Kay's like, I want to go other places now.
Aren't you just complaining about being poor and wanting your whatever a tax return is? I don't know what that is.
Neither does Kay.
Let's go back the way we came. That seems really like a good idea.
I mean, Kay's gonna be like, well, there's this Kalar place that, I don't know, it sounds interesting, I want to go there. Because, for no particular reason. But also, there's the place near the magical forest. I like it.
And I like magical forests, and that is high on my list of priorities, and we will do that after we see Oz. I promise you.
What hurts me is, I know for a fact we're just gonna end up on, we're not gonna portal to any of these islands. We're gonna be stuck on a boat for like an indeterminate amount of time. And it's gonna be hell for all of us. I mean, what?
What? So where are people, like...
I want to try and make a sound argument, honestly, for why we would want to go to Edrum.
I mean, everyone but Kay is going to... Well, I feel like Theo is going to agree with Anna immediately, because going back, we had a job, returning to get payment for that job. That seems super important, valuable.
Also familiarity.
Yes, Syl is going to be like, well, I know this one place, and we can get super cool magical wood from there. That's really cool and exciting. But at the same time, money, because money allows us, me, to afford to build things and get new like blueprints and stuff like that.
Because Sylvania is also broke.
Yes. So Syl, like Syl is probably easier to convince, and then Kay is just going to pout and go along with it regardless. I don't think there's going to be much of an argument here. I think Kay is just going to be like, but like places that are important to my interests are options, but he isn't going to like actively fight against it. So like,
so the decision is Edrum?
Yes.
Okay. So you let Chorus know, and they add a few runes to the last couple of stones on the gate. And as they do so, the gate begins flooding with arcane energy. A purple spark forms in the center of the gate, rapidly growing. Tendrils of energy reaching out, connecting to the stones along this gateway. And as they do, the runes upon it glow bright. A doorway-like form takes shape within the gateway, and beyond it, you can see a forest. Itharia looks to your group. Thank you for your service. I'm sure we'll meet again. And as you step into the gate, you feel your body pulled and shifted as heat is wicked away from your body. After a few moments, the movement stops and you collapse to your knees. The grass beneath your hands is chill and damp, but starting to show signs of green. The warmth of the sun piercing through the budding forest branches overhead floods across your back, though that warmth is wicked away by a chilly breeze. Your eyes throb slightly, trying to adjust to the drastically different environment that you had just left. You're all back in the material plane. Congratulations on making it back, and you're all level 5.
And that's where we're going to end today's session.
And that's where we're ending tonight's session. You're level 5.
We're level 5?
Yeah, you just leveled up to level 5.
Holy fuck. I need to know if Kay can learn prestidigitation. This is going to be very high on my priority list to do. is find out what the fuck I can learn and hopefully prestidigitation's on that list.
But yep, thank you very much for another wild ride at the Shadowlands. Good job, Kale, not dying with that nat 1.
Did you, like, roll for damage there? I'm legit curious.
No, I had set numbers. So here's the thing. If Annah had gotten that nat 1, Annah would have gotten, or ended up unconscious there.
I needed to know that, because I'm like, did this just suspiciously work out in my favor?
No, you lucked out with having more than 35 health.
No.
I think you and...
sting me once.
I think, yeah, you... Actually, no, so if Sylvania had gotten hit by it, because Sylvania has 34 health, Sylvania would have blacked out. I think the only people... Yeah, I guess that means the only people who would not have actually been knocked unconscious would have been you and Cran. And you just happened to be the one of the people who rolled the nat 1.
Well done.
Yep.
Well done.
Thank you for joining in, and we'll be back in 2 weeks for the next session of this campaign. Now that they're back on the material plane and probably going to go and see Oz.
Probably.
Probably?
Which, with our luck, is going to take us till end of October or November.
Watch
But,
for
like,
another
you know.
timeline.
Yeah, we've got
we'll
Anna's
see.
campaign next week, and I'll be... When does it... Thursday is when the thing goes up for the charity for next month. And yeah, let's see if we can get Mel and myself bald.
Shave us.
Shave us. Shave us. Have yourselves a great night.